Good morning. Okay, so you guys wanted me to discuss what are the signs that it's time for you to move out of your hometown or just to move out of the city that you're in general. Let's do it. Hi, my name is Nika. Nike. Okay, you guys, when it's time for you to move, you have to move. It's not a choice. You don't get to fight through it because if you do, God will make it so uncomfortable for you that you will take so much loss than if you just listen. The first time you have that inkling, the first time that feeling comes through your body that I need to move, if you just listen to that feeling, and of course I want to say this too, like I know I'm very privileged to say this. I can move whenever I want. I'm financially stable enough to constantly move. However, I made a plethora of mistakes when I had the first inkling that I need to move and I did not do it. So in 2021, I had that first moment. I was like, I should move out of LA. So I was trying to move to Paris. And I just thought, let me just push through it. Let me just push through this feeling. Like LA is to live and die in LA. Who moves out of LA? I'm just going to push through it. In 2022, I had that feeling again because all my friends moved out of LA almost at the same time. One by one. I said, what the heck is going on? I stuck through it. As you guys know, LA is like completely run down, right? I stuck through it. I said, why not? And then you guys know I got canceled and I thought I should move then, but I wanted to prove something. You know, I had all this money in my savings account and it's just sitting there. And I said, you know what? To force me to stay in LA, to push through this feeling that at the time I did not know that was God making it very clear that I need to leave. He made it very clear that I need to leave. I purchased my home. And when I purchased my home, I thought to myself, well, now I'm stuck. I have to stay. And so about 4 months ago, my childhood, one of my closest friends, Mariah, called me and said, hey, I think I'm just going to get up and leave. I'm moving to Florida. And I was like, you're from here. Why would you move? She's from LA. So she moves to Florida. I go and hang out with like a few of my girlfriends who live in Brentwood. And they're like, oh, we're moving to New York. What is going on? What's happening? So I became literally alone in the house by myself for 4 and I had time to think and I sold my place and I'm here and I couldn't be any happier. So here are 3 signs that you need to move, that God, the universe, the world, your soul is telling you to move. Let's do it. Number 1, relationships are ending. You feel like you're outgrowing people around you. People are either leaving or you're outgrowing them. I remember going to an event in March and the girl next to me, a very well-known influencer, was talking about sugar daddies. And she's in her 30s. And I remember thinking to myself, we had these conversations 12 years ago when I first moved to LA. People are still talking like this in your 30s? Like we had these conversations already. Like in your 20s, it's cool to have those kind of conversations. It's cool to talk about the kind of what's the next party to go to and the next man to date. But the conversations were so vapid at that event by 30-year-olds that I thought, oh no, I've outgrown this. Like I can't have this kind of conversations anymore. So that's your first inkling, is that you outgrow the people around you. Those relationships feel outdated. 2, you feel suffocated, like you don't have room to breathe. What's funny is that my home that I purchased in LA was the biggest home that I've ever lived in LA. I moved 16 times, okay? Living in LA, I moved 16 times. But it was the biggest home. It was 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 1 loft upstairs. I had so much room. It was huge. And I remember, and I would sell my clothes, I would sell my shoes almost every day. And I remember the more that I sold, the more that I felt like I could not breathe. Like, I remember calling my best friend and say, like, there's no room. I don't have room for stuff. Like, I don't have room to film. I don't have room to do anything. I'm filming in my kitchen. I don't have room. And then she'll go, isn't this smaller than your loft bigger than your loft that you lived in? I was like, yeah, it's way bigger. But for some reason, I just don't have room. And I know I couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it logically, but I literally felt like I don't have room. I had boxes everywhere. I didn't unpack most of my stuff for whatever reason because I knew that. And last but not least, and the most important, is that the door will open to whatever city you're going to go next. So I wrote down 5 cities. I just picked 5 random cities to in Europe and 3 in America. And I wrote it down in my papers and I prayed over them every single day for the last 4 months. I said, God, you need to tell me exactly where I need to go, because I have no idea, but I know it's time to leave. And then the only city I did not write down is Tampa, where my parents are at, and our family home. And I didn't write that down because I was like, I grew up there, like, ew, I'm not going back. But then the week I was trying to make a decision, I had a pastor prayed for me. I got an email from a hotel in Tampa saying, like, hey, can you please come and we'll, for you to stay here and we'll cover it. And I said, I don't live in Tampa. Why would I cover a hotel in Tampa? And they were like, oh, we just thought you did. Don't worry about manifesting if you should move or not. God is your source. If he's telling you to move, if you're feeling it every single day that you need to move, just do it. Or else, you guys know, when you don't listen to him, he will make it so uncomfortable for you. Your life will be so miserable wherever you're at that eventually you will move anyway. So you might as well do it sooner than later. I took a huge loss because I didn't listen on my home. I took a huge loss on my career and life because I didn't listen. The first time he instructed me to move in 2021, I should have moved. But we live to learn. I believe in you, and I hope you always believe in yourself. Stay fabulous. Let me go enjoy my coffee. I didn't even take a single sip. Oh, bye, guys.